Getting it right for every child. Who could disagree with that? To disagree with that, what would you have to want? Getting it wrong for every child, getting it right for half of the children. But getting it right for every child is the name of the Scottish Government's programme for promoting the well-being of children, GIRFEC as it's known for short. And it includes the hugely controversial named person scheme, which I'll just leave aside for the time being, and the SHANARRI wellbeing indicators. If you've walked around a school or nursery recently, you probably don't get too far before you see them on the wall. So if you've got kids in nursery or school, the program will be having significant influence on their education. Now, one way of assessing it will be to look at the government documentation and to try and read between the lines and see what it says there. But a better way, I think, is to look at it in practice, and that's what we're going to do in this video.
We have a book that illustrates each of the GIRFEC indicators. So there's one obviously for safe, being healthy, being active, being nurtured, achieving, being responsible, respected and included. There's also two lovely puppets, one's called Sid and one's called SHANARRI, and they live in a place called the Wellbeing Wood.
I'm Sid the monkey, as cool as can be. SHANARRI, my friend, is always with me.
So let's head into the Wellbeing Wood and see what sort of problems Sid and SHANARRI can sort out.
I don't feel safe and I'm not sure who to tell. That's why I spend all day hiding in my shell. My home is a place that can be full of dangers, from medicine lying out to the new faces of strangers.
So poor old Snail isn't feeling safe. Why is that then? Because his parents are irresponsible. So the safety message isn't, these are things you can do, kids, to keep yourselves safe. The message is more, parents need to be doing their job properly to keep you safe. How does that help kids? Why do you need to teach kids that some parents are negligent? It's almost like a social work course for toddlers.
By sharing your worries, you're well on your way to identifying people who can help you each day.
So who can poor old Snail turn to help him cope with his negligent parents? There's all these good people around. Let's see who they are. Childminder, police, a nurse, health visitor, and the last one, I can't read the text. It's deliberately illegible, I think. Obviously not the parents. The parents are the problem, and all these people are the ones around poor old Snail to help him cope with these bad parents. Let's hear a bit more about what it means to be safe now.
Safe means I should stay out of trouble, look out for cars, don't take medicines that are not meant for me, I shouldn't speak to strangers, and
so far so good.
No one's allowed to hit me.
Ah, not so good. This child's parents are actually perfectly within their rights to give her a smack, but she's obviously been taught that they're not. And if that then did happen, I wonder how the child would react. Obviously the person who told her that no one's allowed to hit her would be the obvious person to report the parents to.
Little Dragonfly's granny loves to bake, toast and stew, but she is never too sure of what's good for you.
Spoonfuls of sugar and big pinches of salt are not healthy choices, but it's really not her fault.
I suppose at least it's not saying that Granny's trying to poison you. At least it's saying it's by mistake. Just that Granny hasn't got much of a clue about nutrition.
I don't feel healthy. I have no motivation to play.
A little melodramatic, one might think. I'm not sure how many parents want their children teaching to speak like that. But anyway, what are we going to do about the problem Granny?
Don't be anxious. There is no need to fear. Help is at hand when Sid and SHANARRI are here. Shazam! Shazoo! We have a solution for you.
Go and get Granny, ask her to bring a big pot. We can make a healthy dinner, £2.50 for the lot.
With carrots and onions and lentils in stock, a bowl full of this and you'll be ready to rock.
Phew, that's that problem solved. So the little kid will be able to share some of the government wisdom with Granny and make her a better Granny.
Little Ladybird has stayed home all day. She has no hobbies or fun places to play.
Her dad is asleep and her mum's on the phone. When she asks them to play, she is told not to moan.
So kids, yet another case of useless parents to deal with.
I don't feel active. I can't be bothered to play. No one has shown me the proper way.
Yes, that's right. It's all the fault of those bad parents of yours.
My family are busy, there's no time for fun. I'd love to learn to skip, dance and run.
So who can intervene to make these parents do a better job?
Wake up your dad and call on your mum. Together you can learn that being active is fun.
So here we have it again. The role of the child is to go and advise the parents and help the parents to be better parents by sharing the SHANARRI wisdom with them.
Little Centipede needs to get ready. In the morning he can't be late. He wants to try and dress himself, but his mummy just can't wait.
His mummy does it for him, he always wonders why. His friends at the childminders can all do it by themselves. He's the only one who can't, and this makes him want to cry.
You know the script by now. So another useless parent, so the little kid has to go and share some more SHANARRI wisdom with parents so that she gets her act together and looks after him properly.
I want to build a pirate ship, but all my friends say no. They're going to build a castle, so I guess I'll just give that a go.
Well done. That sounds quite sensible to me.
You should always feel respected and know that you are listened to.
Well, there's some truth in that, but how's that going to go down if a little kid speaks to their friends and says, I've got the right to be listened to, you have to respect me? Is that really going to help kids to get along with each other? I'm not at all sure that it is.
Little Bumblebee breaks rules and doesn't seem to care. He's not good at listening and he doesn't like to share.
He doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. When it comes to losing his temper, this doesn't take long.
Oh no, SHANARRI, what can we see?
Sounds like a naughty boy to me.
What is the problem? What are the clues? Which part of the well-being web should we use?
They say I'm not responsible, but how can this be? I get into trouble. My friends always blame me. Everyone talks of bedtimes like a bath, story, then sleep. I wish this was a routine in my house we could keep.
Shazam! Shazoo! We have a solution for you. Managing emotions can be difficult each day, but with good routines and good role models, you will find a way.
Bedtime routines, role models, it's about managing emotions. Now, this came under the category responsible, but it seems to be saying completely the opposite. He's not responsible for his actions, it's all someone else's fault. It seems to be implying that if there's a bad kid, then the reason is probably bad parents. They haven't got proper routines, they're not good role models for them. Now, with bad behaviour, there can be causes in the background that are resulting in that. Okay, that's fair enough. But we shouldn't assume that that's the whole story. Kids make bad choices and they need to learn the lesson from them, either through talking it through or the consequences, punishments. But they're not going to learn those lessons if we always make excuses for them. If we always start with the assumption that there's some factor in the background that's resulted in the behaviour, then kids are not going to take responsibility for their actions and they're not going to learn. Well, we're out of the well-being woods now. Certainly a major theme coming through is helping kids to inject a good dose of SHANARRI wisdom into their duff parents.
Where would you place yourself on the well-being web?
So aside from the content, what influence is this going to have on children and young people? This incessant inquiry into their well-being, this huge emphasis on their personal emotional life. Might there be a risk that it's going to create children who are excessively self-centered? Now, obviously, part of one's mission in life is to look after yourself and to demand your rights, but we need to keep that in proportion. Might this approach be leading kids to see that as too big a part of their mission in life, making them a little too selfish? We hear these days about Generation Snowflake, young people who can't cope with emotional stresses, they're forever offended or hurt. But what's this approach to education going to do to children? Is it going to imply to them that emotional delicacy is the norm? That's why we have to spend such a huge amount of time assessing it and trying to protect them from all these emotional dangers. Now, introspection is a necessary and good thing as well, but in moderation. If someone's constantly thinking to themselves, am I being nurtured? Am I being included? Thinking about that too much can be negative. Sometimes it's better to be getting on with things rather than navel-gazing. Does Scottish education strike the right balance for the kids? I'm not at all sure it does. Now, another way of looking at this is that men and women on average tend to be different. There are some characteristics that tend to be more dominant in women, some more common in men on average. Generally in Scottish education, if you look at the direction it's heading in, it will always be in the direction of what would be more characteristics associated with femininity. Now if we look at this one, talking about emotions and relationships, what's that more associated with? Is that something that males are more comfortable with, or something that females are more comfortable with? Is it something that males enjoy doing, or that females find most beneficial? I would say that's very definitely something that females would be more attracted to. So in making this a bigger part of Scottish education, is making it more and more in tune for girls and making it more and more alien for boys. It's going to make female teachers feel more at home in the profession, and male teachers feel a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit fish out of water possibly with some aspects of it. Now the last point I'd make is during the little cartoons, the makers constantly cross the line of inviting children to critique parents, and worse still to critique a granny. Now when I watch this, something in me goes, that's not right, you shouldn't be doing that. And yet the people who've made that, the council that have published it, the many educationalists that will have viewed that and have used that, obviously haven't thought the same thing. And I think that shows that there's something awry in the philosophy of education and child rearing in Scotland. I will now conclude with the benediction.
So there you go. There's some information about SHANARRI and getting it right for every child.
You might have known this already, or it might be something new.
I hope you have each part of SHANARRI in your life.